In 2507, Neo-Lagos has one rule above all others. Royalty stays at the top. Everyone else stays below. Prince Zion Adilobi broke that rule 8 nights in a row. Not for the food. For the boy who kept pouring his zobo into a larger glass. Neo-Lagos in 2507 was a city built on layers. Royalty at the top, the lower deck at the bottom, and between them 3 centuries of rules that nobody questioned. Until a prince sat down at table 7 of a lower deck restaurant and fell in love with the server who never once asked why he kept coming back. Emeka Nwosu, 23, had spent his entire life on the lower deck, carrying plates, raising his sister Adaora, asking nothing from a world that had never offered him anything. He was not remarkable by his own reckoning. He was simply present, careful, real. Zion was 26, second son of the king, built like someone whose body had been shaped by royal military training and whose face had never once been allowed to show what he was actually thinking. Until he sat across a worn table from a young man who poured his drink into a larger glass without being asked, and for the first time in his life, felt completely seen. They met every evening at the lagoon after his shift. They talked. Then they stopped talking and just sat. And then one night Zion placed his hand over Emeka's on the warm metal barrier and neither of them moved for a very long time. The royal council found out. They sent 6 soldiers to Emeka's door at 4 in the morning. They took him to a white room in the palace and offered him money to disappear. He folded his hands on the table and said nothing for 40 minutes. He was not going to give them what they wanted. And neither was Zion, who had already left the palace and was already running. Zion walked into the white room, looked at the commander who had put Emeka there, and told her Emeka was leaving with him. She stepped aside. The council voted. 7-5. Zion won. They married on the upper deck under an open sky with the whole city watching and Mama Chitty saying yes out loud from the front row before either groom could answer. But the commander had escaped with a file. The general was already smiling. And somewhere in 5 Nigerian cities the real war was just beginning. That night they slipped away from the palace and went back to the lower deck. Back to table 7. Back to Mama Chitty's. 2 large zobo glasses already waiting. Matching gold wedding bands on both their hands. The city above them no longer against them. Neither of them knowing yet that part 2 was already on its way. Watch the full part 1 for the complete story.